guys, kids these days are busy. School obligations, sports, music, and extracurricular activities, they may not be available to take OutSchool classes that come at designated times. And this is where flex classes come in. For me, this is definitely the class type I avoided making for the longest time because I just didn't know what was needed to provide a solid learning environment in a class setting that had no live meetings. Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel and another episode of Teacher Talk Tuesday, the weekly series where I sit down, turn on my camera, and answer your questions. This summer, we are filming more of these here at my desk in my office, so let me know what you guys think about this setup. Today we are talking about flex classes. Now, I have had so many people write to me asking various questions about this class type. A lot of them are asking if it really is a form of passive income, and I am here to tell you my experience with it and why I honestly think this is anything but passive income, because in my experience, flex classes take a lot of work. Like, a lot. But we will definitely get into everything involving flex classes in today's episode. If you are new to this channel, be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed by clicking that little red subscription button and the bell down below to be updated for each and every future video. I did check my analytics while traveling last week, and I found out that 60% of people who watch my videos on a weekly basis are not subscribed. So if you could do me the biggest favor, just check down below and click that subscription button. But without any further ado, let's talk about flex classes. Question of the day: what is your experience with flex classes? Do you have some? Are you looking to add some to your class offerings right now? Just want to know more information, or are you steering clear of them? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and experience down below in the comments. Now, first and foremost, if you are not sure exactly what a flex class is, let me enlighten you by reading the exact definition off of the OutSchool website. It says, what is a flex class? While the vast majority of OutSchool classes featured scheduled live meetings using our video classroom, we also offer the option to create flexible classes, flex, which don't rely on live meetings. In a flex class format, teachers conduct the class by posting in the OutSchool classroom and creating ways for learners to interact with each other and the teacher asynchronously. Flex classes run for a minimum of 4 weeks. Keep that in mind, 4 weeks. We'll get into that in just a second. Who can teach a flex class? In order to be eligible to teach a flex class, a teacher must already have taught at least one live class with a positive rating. What is required for a flex class? Keep it in the classroom. For learner safety reasons, all materials must be accessible to OutSchool staff without a login or password and shared in the classroom. And here's what to share in the classroom: pre-recorded lessons, announcements, assignments and deadlines, and additional learning materials or links to third-party tools to support interaction, such as quizzes, forums, and other interactive software. So that is their technical definition of a flex class right off the OutSchool page. Now that we've covered the definition of a flex class, let's talk about the different ways to create these courses. I have notes behind me, so if you see me looking over the camera, I'm actually reading you off of my notes how I've outlined and designed my flex classes. In my experience of creating these classes, the first thing I do is figure out how many meetings or course weeks I have to have. If you remember off the website, it says there's a minimum of 4. But if I'm teaching something that needs more than 4 weeks, I have to figure out how many weeks do I need to have pre-recorded materials for and assignments if needed. Just how long will it take to teach the concept the class is focusing on? Once I know how many classes I need to prepare for, the next step, which does take the longest, at least for me, is outlining all the material. I'm going to teach this concept in the first class, this in the second, and so on and so forth. This takes the longest for me because I have to figure out what's all going to be covered, and then once I have that draft, have I covered everything? Do I have enough in each of the meetings so when I go to record it or make assignments for it, does it all work? Then once I figured all of that out, it is time to set time aside to record. Some people choose to do this all in one day, but in my experience, I have found if it's going to be maybe a 4 or 5 week course, I will spend the entire week. I'll assign Monday to the first meeting and I'll record just that first meeting. Set aside enough time to record. I know I've mentioned that before in previous videos. If you think it's going to take an hour, set aside 2. But I'll do first class on Monday, second class on Tuesday, so on and so forth. So by the end of the week, I have 4 to 5, depending on the class, really good quality recordings that cover everything. If I had to do extra takes or sometimes start over, I have the material ready. It is set and recorded, ready to go. Once everything is recorded, I do go ahead and set up a learning schedule. So what days of the week are the learners going to be receiving the pre-recorded classes? When are follow-ups or assignments going to be due? Setting up a learner schedule shows the students and their parents the structure of this class. I never do a flex and just say, hey, I'm gonna send you my pre-recorded classes one of the days during the week. It is always an assigned day. For example, if it's always going to be a Monday, students and parents will know the pre-recorded classes are coming out on Monday. Assessments and assignments are going to be due on Wednesday, and then follow-ups will be due on Friday. That is just an example, but set up a schedule so that learners know what to expect. All in all, setting up a learning schedule will be invaluable to not just you as the teacher, but also the learners and their parents. Again, a lot of times these students are taking flex because their schedules do not allow for them to take live one-on-one classes that meet at designated times. So at the very least, let them know here's when the classes are coming out, and if something is due, here are the dates. Just basically assign dates. Looking at my flex classes, I either have my videos going out every Monday or every Tuesday, just depending on the class, the schedule, and the amount of learners in it. But I always let the parents and the learners know here are the dates that the pre-recorded lessons will be available on our classroom page. And then once your class has been drafted, recorded, and scheduled, then it is time to go and request it on the OutSchool page. I used to request before making the materials, but now to get classes approved, they really want to see your structure. When are things going to be coming out? When will the kids have a chance to interact with you? When will they be giving in assignments? Essentially, OutSchool really wants to see your finished and prepared product before approving your classes, especially flex classes. So go ahead, put your title, your description. This should look very similar to putting other classes on the page. My one big piece of advice here is to put the word flex in both your title and your description box. I cannot tell you how many times a parent has signed their child up for my classes and then wrote to me and said, didn't see a date and time for this class, can you let me know when we're meeting? And I have to go back and write them and tell them, actually, this is a flex class, and they don't know what that is, and I have to explain to them what that is. Then they pull their kid out, and it's just a mess. Put it in your title and put it in your description. I have seen people actually put in the description, this is a flex class. There will be no live one-on-one meetings with this class, or there will be no live meetings with the teacher in this class. Let the parents know what they are potentially signing their kids up for by putting it in the title and the description box. Save yourselves the time. I promise you it is worth it. Then once your class is approved, decide when you're going to be offering it. While there is no live meeting set for these kind of classes, you do have to schedule them. For me, I like to do them on either the 1st of every month, because they have to be 4 weeks, or on the 15th of every month. That way you know when you have to give those materials and when the classes that are pre-recorded have to go out to the learners, and they know, hey, I'm taking this math or this baking class during the entire month of July or August or whatever it is. So make it, approve it, schedule it. And then once your class is set up and able to take on learners and enrollment, here are my top 3 ways to self-market your class. The first one is to have class dates available the second you post it. I don't know if you know this, but your followers get notified when you create and make a brand new class available, not when you open new times for an existing class. So if your Math 101 Flex class has just been approved and people can now find it in the search, do not waste time, do not hesitate. Put availability on that class so your followers can find it, other people searching your class can find it, you have a better chance of getting learners enrolled right away. My second tip is to share your brand new class on Facebook share groups. If there's a discount as a new class, let people know, share it with your community. And my third and final tip is to set your flex class as a follow-up course from your other classes. For example, if you're teaching a math flex class, make that be a follow-up class. If you don't know how to do this, let me know down below in the comments. I can make a tutorial for this. But when you put a class together, so my one-time live class that I would have with my students, we're using math as an example, once they finish that class, there is a follow-up. So parents will get an email from OutSchool saying, how was your math class? Teacher Kristen recommends this class next. If you feel that your flex class really is a good follow-up from that class, make that be the scheduled class that you recommend to learners and their parents that they should check out after finishing that one-time class. That's just an example. It could be a follow-up from any of your classes. If you have an ongoing or a multi-day or again a one-time, make your flex class be what you recommend as the follow-up class. That way they at least know. Maybe a learner took your class in the spring and loved it, but doesn't have the availability to take a designated class with you in the summer. You have a flex class, there they are, they have the option right there. And finally, I do have an entire video on the best practices to market your OutSchool courses. I'll put that video up above in the cards and down below in the description box. Now, I did make a couple notes, pros and cons of flex classes in my experience. The pros are you can now reach students on a global scale because you are not meeting them at a designated time. Students who I could never reach before because of time zone restrictions, I can now work with and teach in a flexible class setting. Secondly, I wrote you can teach more students as these classes are pre-recorded and don't need your live attention. And of course, where there are pros, there are going to be cons. My top 2 cons I noted are there a lot of work to draft, set up, create, and market. Guys, it took me the longest time to set up my first flex class just because I didn't realize how much work went into pre-recording an entire course. Like, round of applause to those who make courses as a full-time job because that really is a full-time job. And then my last con is there's no guarantee of class enrollment. I could go spend a month making the most perfect flex class. It could have the best lighting and film and assessments and homework and everything could be perfect and no one could take it. So it is a gamble of your time and resources, but something I do recommend, just make 1 or 2, see how they work. A lot of people that ask me about flex classes, I say go and look at your most popular one-time or ongoing class. Which one is the most popular and how could you make that its own flex class? Like, don't recreate a whole class, go and take your most popular math or your most popular reading class and make it a flex option. And then go into your description of those classes and even write to the parents or learners, if you don't see a time that works with you, please know I do offer this in a flex class option. Just a little final food for thought. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. But you guys, that is it for today's episode of Teacher Talk Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up again, as that does really help out the channel. And of course, if there's anything you want to see covered in a future Teacher Talk Tuesday episode, let me know down below as well. I'll be reading them and putting them all on my content calendar. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Introducing the new fast and easy way to get access to all of my teaching resources. Welcome to my brand new Teachers Pay Teachers store. Here, you'll find a growing collection of classroom resources, including access to my OutSchool course creation guide. Follow my shop and let me know in the comments if you also have a TPT shop, as I would love to follow fellow teachers on that platform as well. And until next time, happy teaching.